Good morning. I trust that you all are doing well. You had a good night's sleep and are off to a great start for your day. Let me ask you a question. What do you do when you don't know what to do? I mean, seriously, what do you do when you're kind of maybe put in an impossible situation and you really don't know what to do? I mean, your talent won't solve the problem. Your logic won't solve the problem. Your education won't solve it. I see that a lot. People think, well, I know so much. I have this degree. And yet the truth of the matter is there are many things in life that our experience, our knowledge, our talent, our education can't solve the problem. It can't deal with the situation. Only God can. Only God can. I mean, that's why we develop a prayer life. That's why we learn to go to God and pray and ask for His divine supernatural intervention in our life. I mean, God told Jeremiah, who lived at the same time as Daniel, God said in Jeremiah chapter 33 and verse 3, He said, "Call to me, and I will answer you. I will tell you marvelous and wondrous things that you could never figure out on your own." Interesting verse. I like that translation. It's out of the Message. To paraphrase the Message. I like that. In other words, you can beat your head against the wall. You can think you know all the answers. You can try to figure everything out. And you can end up frustrated, or you can decide to put it in the hands of the one person in all the universe that has the ability and the compassion to care for that need as He sees fit, as He sees best. It's the same thing with Daniel. I mean, if you remember when Daniel didn't know the answer to the king's dream, and of course they were going to kill all the wise men in the kingdom, and that included Daniel. And what did Daniel do? Daniel prayed. He took it before God. He laid it in front of God. And in 1,000 years, Daniel could never have figured it out. But God, in an instant, gave Daniel the answer and was able to take care of that. You see, the Bible says in James chapter 4 and verse number 2, you do not have what you want because you do not ask God for it. Or maybe you're more familiar with the King James translation, you have not because you ask not. We've never learned to talk to God. We've never learned to speak to God. We never have learned to take it to God. I mean, how many times do we miss out on the very best that God has for us because we never learned or we never took the time to ask God for it? You see, I've seen God answer prayer over and over and over again in my life. I mean, I've faced situations that I couldn't imagine. I couldn't solve on my own. I didn't know what to do. And so finally, I turned it over to God. I say finally because just like you, I'm human. And I try to do it on my own. I try to, put a good face on it, but it's hard. Listen. We need to learn to take it to God. What is the heaviest burden you're carrying right now? And I'm talking about specifically. Is it financial? Is it physical? Maybe you've got some great physical issue or problem you're trying to cope with and trying to deal with. Is it marital? You're struggling in your marriage or your home, or maybe it's dealing with the kids. I mean, they're just a whole raft of things that many times overwhelm us in our lives. Isn't it time you turned those things over to God? God says, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and I will tell you marvelous and wondrous things that you could never figure out on your own." My friend, isn't it time to turn it over to God? God bless you. Have a great day. I want to encourage you, don't forget, Sunday morning, turn in at 9:45. Our praise team will be singing. We'll be sharing selfies that folks have sent in. I encourage you to get involved in that, and certainly you'll enjoy that. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, I'll be speaking, and we'll be finishing up our series on how to deal with how you feel by talking about the feeling of fear. I trust you'll join us. I'll look forward to meeting you then at that time. God bless you. Have a great day.